To new video now. This is out of Hong Kong. Anti-government protesters gathering near one of the rail stations for the city's mass transit system. Riot police are out on the streets to break up the demonstrations after a day in which protesters called for a general strike. That call was largely ignored, but students did come out to show solidarity with protesters. In fact, this was the scene earlier today in Hong Kong. It was the first day of the new school year after the summer break, but students took to the streets instead, taking part in a mass demonstration at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. It was mostly peaceful, the rally coming after a weekend when anti-government protests turned violent. Our Adrian Arsenault, host of The National, is in Hong Kong and was at today's university rally.
So the school year was supposed to start today, and yet here they are, the students of Hong Kong back out chanting on the streets. High school students, college students, thousands of them are on strike all across the city. They've been joined in some cases by the doctors and nurses. If you have a look at this crowd, some of the protesters here are clearly ready for more than just sitting and listening to speeches and chanting. Not even a swirling typhoon has managed to discourage the people from coming back onto the streets, not even the violence of this weekend. And while we're above ground here, below ground, there is a fair amount of chaos as well. Protesters have once again been swarming the transit stations here. Some of the protesters blocking the doorways to subway trains, the police chasing them throughout. Some of the arrests continue today. And watching all of this, of course, are Hong Kong's authorities, who are frustrated and furious. The number 2 in Hong Kong suggesting again that they're not ruling out emergency laws being put into place, that they believe law and order must be restored immediately. The big concern is, what will Beijing do? Chinese state media released a statement earlier within the last 24 hours suggesting quite clearly that, quote, the end is near for these protesters, that there is a red line that China says must not be crossed, and that includes a challenge to China's sovereignty. Not only is Beijing furious at gatherings like this, it really is angry at some of the images that have come out this weekend, particularly the tearing down and burning of a Chinese flag. That sort of stuff is not going to be tolerated. At least that's the message it wants to pass. And October the 1st, 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China, the last thing China wants is images of this sort of unrest floating throughout the world leading up to that date. Adrian Arsenault, CBC News, Hong Kong.